Hey guys, so today I'm going to do another ranking video, and this is going to be my top 50 point-and-click adventure games. And yeah, this is one of my favorite genres because I'm a PC gamer, right? I go back to the DOS days, and yeah, point-and-click adventure titles were, yeah, there was a staple, I would say, of the DOS library. So it's one of those definitive PC genres, right? Point-and-click means you had to have a mouse and a keyboard, right? So anyways, yeah, it's gonna be my top 50 list here. Only games I played on my channel, of course, as I usually do on these type of ranking videos, but I played thousands of games on my channel, so picking 50 is just hard because I have played a lot of point and clicks on my channel, and these are going to be games that have to have some sort of cursor movement in some way, or even if it doesn't, I would count the text parser type of adventure games technically do count as well, even though you don't technically point somewhere, but I consider them point-and-click adventure games, even if they're not formal point-and-click, right? Because I know the whole genre kind of evolved starting from the 90s. So in the 80s, it was more like text parser input. But those I count as point-and-click. I mean, even though they're technically not, but they're graphical adventure titles that later became point-and-click. So anyways, I count those as well. Alright, so start off with an honorable mention, as I always do in these type of ranking videos, and I'm gonna go with the Neverhood. Now this might be like, this might be kind of a surprise to some who are into this genre, because the Neverhood's considered kind of a cult classic point-and-click adventure game. But for me, I have to say that I didn't like. Basically, this game is very difficult, and I think some of the puzzles could have been done better, and that's one of the things about point-and-click adventure games is, like, for me, when I'm ranking these, is how much I enjoy playing them, right? Now, I realize the Neverhood is, I have to mention it because it is so unique. I mean, it's done in this claymation style. DreamWorks was actually one of the production companies for this. So I realize it's a cult classic, and it's incredibly unique when it comes to the art style, right, in this claymation style. So that's pretty cool, and I do remember playing this as a kid as well, so there's some childhood memories of this. But when I go back and play this now, I don't know, like, there's so many great point-and-click adventure titles, right? I just don't think I enjoyed this one quite as much as the ones in my top 50. But I do have to mention it because it is unique, right? You have this first-person perspective, actually, when you go outside of the little rooms. Then once you get inside the rooms, you got to solve these puzzles, right? But I do consider the puzzles, like, some of them have moon logic, which is kind of common, actually, when it comes to 90s point-and-click titles. Yeah, a lot of these moon logic ones, it's very difficult to solve them. But hey, at the same time, I had to mention Neverhood because it is so very unique. The claymation style and everything is done so well. So yeah, I think that's all done really well. Oh yeah, there's this section here where you control this little car, and you kind of like drag the car into this thing to flip that little toggle thing there. Yeah, I like the combination of the first person with the little side view in the rooms and stuff to solve the puzzles. That's all done really uniquely, and of course the claymation style, right, which is probably the most memorable part of this game. So anyways, I have to mention it. It is yeah, it's a cult classic type of game. A lot of people love it. For me, I don't know. I played this, right, kind of again after playing it as a kid, and just didn't enjoy it quite as much as I did before, I think. Although, you know, obviously, it's still a very unique game. So, anyways, it's Neverhood. Alright, so number 50 is Noctropolis, which is a really cool game, actually, because it focuses on the main character kind of becoming like a superhero, actually. And it's done kind of in a comic book style, which is really cool. You guys can see, right? This is done in sort of this comic book style, which is really cool. So, yeah. Or this point-and-click title involves the main character kind of becoming like a superhero, comic book style superhero. So that's all done really, you know, it's really cool. I actually don't see this in like really any other point-and-click title, as that comic book style here. Of course, the actual gameplay itself, digitized sprite, that was pretty common in the mid-90s. But yeah, just the environment, the graphics, the art style of those, especially the comics with the those interludes there. yeah, it's really cool actually. So also that little point and click interface is pretty cool here. You see this? This is a pretty unique point and click interface. I don't think I've seen this in pretty much any other game. Yeah, pretty unique point and click interface here. This is not done in a LucasArts or a Sierra style actually. And yeah, just overall the whole comic book style, becoming a superhero and stuff, digitized sprites. Yeah, done in a very memorable way, right? So Metropolis has to make my list here. Of course, there's a lot of great point and clicks on this list, so it's yeah, it's tough to even get on this list. But hey, Metropolis barely makes it. No, it's a good game though, very memorable for me. Right, so number 49 is Simon the Sorcerer 2, The Lion, the Wizard, and the Wardrobe. Yeah, I actually like this one a little bit more than the first one. I know a lot of people like the first one more, the first Simon the Sorcerer game, but I actually prefer the second, actually. Yeah, I don't know. I like the fact that the title is a play on words on Narnia, obviously, and just being like, you're actually, compared to the first one, of course, you're a bit more mature as a wizard here. Yeah. And yeah, I find the puzzles and the gameplay, artwork, and everything, yeah, classic mid-90s style. So in a 2D style, actually, because in the mid-90s, you're starting to see more of the first-person Myst-style adventure games, but it's cool that you also have these 2D side perspective games, which is more classic, I think. So, anyways, I like that some of the humor in the game is done well, I think. I think maybe done better in the first one. I think I agree with that. But still, Simon the Sorcerer 2, I think is pretty good. Either way, it's much better than the third one. The third one was Simon Sorcerer 3D, which was kind of a black sheep. Because yeah, after Simon the Sorcerer 3D, I don't think any more were made because it wasn't very good. But the first two games, yeah, I liked them. But the second one I played a little bit more. But yeah, the artwork is very classic, right? Classic pixelated artwork that's reminiscent of the early 90s, actually, more so than the mid-90s. But yeah, you're playing a more mature wizard than you are in the first game. And yeah, overall, I had a good time playing this one. So, Simon the Sorcerer 2, yeah, that makes my list here. Yeah, that was only released for the Sega CD, unfortunately. It was never released. Alright, so number 48 is going to be Rise of the Dragon. So this is a first-person point-and-click adventure game done in a cyberpunk style. So that's pretty cool. I always love cyberpunk style, right? And this was like really early 90s as well. I believe this was a Dynamics. Yeah, this was a Dynamics game, which has some full motion video if you look at that. So that's pretty cool, actually. So there is some little bit of full motion video there, even though this is 1990. Yeah. Inventory. So but yeah, I like the setting. The cyberpunk setting is pretty cool, very Blade Runner-ish. And then the first-person perspective. Usually, when you have first-person perspective and point and clicks, it's done in the Myst style, but this one's not because it came out before Myst. So yeah, this one is actually done in more of a classic. Yeah, you have a more classic pixelated style here, hand-drawn art actually, that you usually see from side view point and clicks, but this one is first person, so that's pretty interesting. Okay. Yeah, go around different locations, all these like bars and stuff that you see. Yeah, it's really yeah. So it's just a cool vibe and atmosphere, I would say. I like this game just because of the yeah, it's a cyberpunk setting, and you get to go into a lot of these shady places and stuff, and yeah, really sucks you in, makes you immersed in this kind of world, you know. So that's pretty cool. So, anyways, Rise of the Dragon is a cool one. Dynamics made some cool games back in the day. I think Heart of China came close to making this list as well. Didn't quite make it, but yeah, Rise of the Dragon, very cool one. There we go. Alright, so number 47 is Dreamweb. Very cool point-and-click adventure game. Because this one is not a side perspective or a first-person perspective, it's a top-down perspective, which is very unique to this game. I don't think I've played many point-and-clicks like this. Like, this is done, I guess, nowadays, if you want a more modern reference, Hotline Miami style. But, of course, it's always raining in Cyberpunk. Yeah, of course, this is a point-and-click, actually. So, yeah, definitely not many point-and-click adventures from a top-down perspective, which this one is. I believe this was was this Amiga at the beginning as well? Because definitely seems like something that could have been an Amiga game originally, and then ported to DOS later. Because the thing about Amiga is actually Amiga has some really cool games, very interesting games. A lot of them were exclusive, and then some of them ended up being ported later to DOS, like this one, I think. So yeah, love the Dreamweb. Again, also like Rise of the Dragon, is set in a cyberpunk type of setting as well, so sometime in the future. So the music in this game is really good, by the way. Very, very ambient, very cyberpunk feeling music. So I think the music, is the soundtrack deserves praise just for that. And also the very unique perspective and interface in this game, which you don't really see too often in other games. Yeah. Of course, this game is not, it definitely has its flaws too, but overall did enjoy playing this one. It's very memorable to me. Love the graphical art style, love the unique top-down perspective, love the cyberpunk setting, love the music. So definitely a lot of things I like about this one. So yeah, anyways, Dreamweb, definitely a very unique experience for me. Again, very unique point and click. I don't think I've played any other point and click adventure game with this kind of interface before. So yeah, very cool. And number 46 is Schism Mysterious Journey. Actually the beginning of a series called Mysterious Journey. What's cool about this one is it is done in a Myst style, so it's first person perspective. In a lot of the games in like mid to late 90s was done like this. I mean, there's so many Myst clones that I played. But this one has stood out to me because, first of all, I love the backgrounds of this alien planet that you're on. Really, really cool looking backgrounds. You crash land on this alien world, right? So yeah, all these backgrounds are really cool. The other really unique thing about Schism is that you can switch between the two main characters.
It looks like you can switch between different characters.
Yeah. So you can either choose the guy who's in this kind of setting here with you're up in the atmosphere with all these like alien flying creatures, I guess. Yeah, if you look at this. Very, very cool setting. You have like these, I guess, hot air balloons, and then also these alien creatures kind of floating up in the air. So that's also very cool. So that's where the guy is basically. So you get to be in that setting. And of course, there's full motion video because it's a Myst style. Yeah, but also you get to play as a girl as well. And the girl's also in a cool setting too. She's down on the ground and in another area of the planet, I'm guessing. And yeah, this is also very, very cool. It's at night, actually sunset time it looks like. So you get to see the alien sunset. Yeah, and also these cool alien structures that she's going through. So yeah, she's like going up these little tubes or paths, I guess. Yeah, winding paths up these alien structures and buildings.
Organic ships, yeah.
Yeah, anyways, very cool because first I love the setting. This kind of, surreal alien world that you're in is pretty awesome in my opinion. Really love it. Actually, I liked it more than any of the Zork worlds. I know like Zork is such a beloved game series, but yeah, I actually liked it than any of the worlds I saw in Zork. Yeah, and being able to switch between two main characters is really cool as well. I think the newest one is called Nemesis, and I played that as well. But the original Schism game, I really liked it too.
Okay. I guess once you figure out this puzzle, then
really,
you
really
get whatever distinguishes.
Also, the game Dreamfall, maybe not Dreamfall, Longest Journey. Yeah, that game I know you get transported to alien planets as well, but didn't quite make this this list. But hey, Schism made it for sure. This is a definitely memorable one for me, just because the setting, the ability to switch between characters.
Push.
Alright, so number 45 is Malpiti Island. So this one, yeah, this one's very interesting because
okay, what about this stuff here?
What I love about this one is that you can do
if it's gonna sound like
so
a
much
voice,
in this one when you talk to someone.
There's
just
still technically
a huge long list of things you can ask them. Yeah, because it's actually built upon the same engine as another game called Mortville Manor. And this game is actually an improvement on that game, I would say, in most ways. But yeah, it's just the amount of dialogue that you can ask. Yeah, so this is the other thing. You can ask a ton of different dialogue options talking to every character, and also it has synthesized speech, and this is a 1990 game with synthesized speech, which is pretty technologically impressive. Yeah, like this and Countdown, I think, was also 1990, also pretty technically impressive for the time. And also the Tex Murphy games were pretty impressive for the time as well. So these are just some of the games that really impressed me. Like 1990, and this game has like synthesized speech already. I know it doesn't sound like, this voice obviously sounds robotic, but the fact that they have synthesized speech in a 1990 DOS game, wow, that's pretty impressive. But yeah, I like just the setting's cool, and also you're investigating a murder as well.
There's another girl.
Yeah, everyone sounds the same because using the same synthesized speech voice. But yeah, you can select, you can ask them so many questions. There's so many dialogue options for this game. It's actually insane, and the amount of actions that you can do in this game is insane. So anyways, for many reasons I like Malpidi Island. I think it's memorable to me. Now this game I know is going to take a lot of patience to play. So do a lot of point and click adventures. Most point and click adventures is going to take patience to play. But yeah, this one especially because it has so many dialogue options to ask someone, right? It's going to take you like hours just to exhaust all these dialogue options and trying to find out who actually did it and everything. But yeah, love the setting. The synthesized speech is really cool. All the different dialogue options and actions that you can do. Very ambitious game, I would say, for the time. And really overlooked, actually, as well. Not many people even know about this one. So, anyways, yeah, Malpidi Island.
You have only until the next new moon.
Alright, so number 44 is Inherit the Earth. And this is a really cool point-and-click adventure game because, well, first of all, it has the LucasArts style, so all the actions and stuff are down here. And then, second of all, as you can see, you can play as animals. You can play as furries.
Well,
so that's pretty cool. You have to play as a fox. Yeah, that's the main character. And I believe in this game, in the beginning of the game, you're accused of theft, I think. And yeah, basically you had to clear your name within like 3 days or something like that. So you had to find the item, I think it's some orb or jewel or something. And yeah, you had to return it to the king by that time.
This is no more than highway robbery.
It is only the law of supply and demand. And in this case, I have the supply and you have the demand.
Yeah, so just generally a really fun game to play, I would say. It's done really well. I like the characters, the dialogue, the puzzles are okay as well. But yeah, just the nifty thing about you're playing as a furry. You're playing as a fox, and you have companions, which are a deer and a warthog.
Be our only way to obtain it. I still
the warthog is actually part of the other faction, right, that tries to murder you. Yeah, or rather the faction that doesn't like your faction. But yeah, you have all these warring factions of animals, and you live in a time where I guess in the future, actually, you live in the future where humans don't exist anymore, and I guess humans are part of the distant past or something like that. So it's an interesting setting, for sure. Yeah, definitely a unique point and click just for the fact that you get to play as animals, and I think Beyond the Edge of Owlsguard is a recent game that was definitely inspired by this. But yeah, not many other point and click adventure games where you play as animals in some far distant future where humans are no longer on the planet, and animals took over the planet and are walking upright and speaking English and stuff. So
I was born a member of the dog tribe. However, that career was cut short.
Yeah,
you see, I suffer from
definitely very cool game to pick up and play because it's cool being able to talk to other animals and play basically anthropomorphic animals.
True, the other members of the Tressage
very Disney-like, I would say. That's what this game is. 43 is Bizarre Adventures of Woodruff and the Schnibble. And the graphical art style of this game is very similar to the Goblin Quest series, and personally I actually even like this better than a lot of the Goblin Quest games. I know the Goblin Quest games are beloved as well, and love Goblin Quest 3 especially, or Goblins, but yeah, Woodruff and Schnibble is a pretty cool game, and honestly actually kind of hard to find. I know there hasn't really been re-released. A lot of these games haven't been re-released in official capacity. You have to kind of download them as a bandware and play them. But yeah, the graphical art style definitely very similar to those of you who have played the Goblin Quest series. So yeah, if you have played any Goblins games, then it's pretty much same art style.
Toy Store.
Yeah, except this one. Yeah, I like the setting and yeah, setting the characters a bit more in this one. I would say.
Button here.
So very much so kind of wacky and crazy. So I definitely have good time and memorable time playing the Bizarre Adventures of Woodruff in the Schnibble. Even the name, right, is very memorable. Woodruff and Schnibble. How did they come up with that one? Right. But yeah, very colorful graphics and everything. All the characters very distinctive, as is all the Goblin's Quest characters and everything.
What's going on here?
Yeah, very distinctive. But anyways, if you asked me, I would pick this game over some of the Goblin's Quest games, so that's why they're not here. But I picked this game a little bit over those. So anyways, fun game to check out.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, just like the Goblin's Quest games, a lot of just funny humor, wacky humor, and nice art designs, very colorful.
And enslave the survivors.
Right, 42 is Edna and Harvey, Harvey's New Eyes. This is a more modern style point-and-click adventure title. As you guys can tell from the graphics, it's yeah, definitely not pixelated or anything, so it's done in a more modern style. It's the sequel to Edna Harvey 1, and well, actually the first Edna Harvey game, I should say, and in that game you play as well Edna, and she has this little bunny rabbit, I guess, toy called Harvey. But in this game, you play as this other girl here, and this girl is also pretty interesting too, because she always ends up unintentionally causing a lot of havoc. I would say, yeah, Lily. Lily's her name. So she ends up causing a lot of havoc with her actions, probably like unknowingly. See, actually, that's Edna right there. So Edna's still there. But you get to play as Lily, and Lily's yeah, it's funny because Edna is just this kind of wacky, crazy girl, but Lily, on the other hand, seems very shy, very demure, introverted, and yet somehow she always manages to cause a lot of trouble. So you end up kind of feeling sorry for her, I guess, because it's like, okay, this guy even died. She just killed this guy.
Anyways,
and I guess she didn't even know that she killed this guy. So she ends up causing a lot of havoc very unintentionally. Anyways, I did enjoy playing the sequel more. The original game was also fun too, the original Edna Harvey game. But I liked Harvey's New Eyes. I think this was a fun game to play.
Do you think I'm blind?
Yeah.
Now leave.
Just the thought of the Mother Superior, this character here, being so hard on Lily, even though Lily is so demure and shy, it's pretty funny actually.
Like you, serious? Do you know how to speak?
Yeah, anyways, pretty fun game for me to play. Look at this little potato head guy cleaning up that corpse. Oh man.
That means you won't get your recipe either.
So out of the modern point and clicks, I think this was definitely one of my favorites currently. Number 41, Rex Nebular and the Cosmic Gender Bender. Yes, that's right. That's the actual real name of the game. Because in this game, you can actually you crash land on a planet where they have a gender bender machine that turns you into the opposite sex, basically. Well, essentially, this is a planet full of women, and women dominate this planet, and in order to reproduce, they have to be men, right? So they have a gender bender machine that turns you into a man. And I guess in the reverse direction as well.
Woman just came on
so they have a gender bender machine, which is kind of crazy. So this is the first time Micropose's trilogy of point and clicks done in a LucasArts style, right? As you guys can see down here. I think this is my second favorite. You'll see Dragon Spear higher up. But yeah, my second favorite out of the trilogy of Micropose.
So I don't actually work out.
But yeah, what I like about this game is that it's basically very similar to Space Quest in premise and gameplay as well, and humor. I guess you can tell that all the humor, gameplay, setting, everything is very Space Quest inspired, and that's always a good thing. You know, Space Quest is a great series of games by Sierra, and oh shit. Yeah, and this one throws in the crazy plot of having the gender bender machine and stuff.
So funny.
So yeah, I enjoyed playing this one.
Yeah, I went back to the ship because
It does have the great humor in it. I love the old school retro point and click graphical adventure style and the Space Quest type of setting where you crash land an alien planet and everything. So all in all, it's a very fun game to play. So if you guys like Space Quest, check out Rex Nebular. You know, it's basically Microprose's version of Space Quest. Alright, so number 40 is Freddy Farkas Frontier Pharmacist, which is a mid-90s Sierra title. And, well, what can I say? It's set in the Wild West, and it has that classic Sierra vibe. So, has the classic Sierra humor, and also love the fact that it uses kind of, yeah, like early 90s-ish pixelated graphics. So, I think that ages better. So, yeah. The hot lead in the old town.
Even though you're one of his more refined customers, if you try taking one of those bottles, you'll be doing shots of hot lead the hard way.
I love the narrator in Sierra games. They're really funny. Yeah. But yeah, classic character, plays Freddy Farkas in the Old West. And yeah, just a funny cast of characters, great dialogue, and what can I say, classic Sierra vibes.
Yeah. Just being able to look at you makes my day seem to fly by.
This is the interior of Chesterfield's Mercantile Company. He used to call it a general store until he ran out of generals.
Yeah, I always love the classic narrator dialogue. Oh, it's always so funny in these Sierra titles. Yeah, so anyways, I like the setting, I like the graphics, you know, very early 90s style actually, which is actually what I prefer. I know by mid-90s a lot of the games moved to mid-style or using digitized sprites, but I actually still prefer this old school pixelated style. I think it ages better. And yeah, I love the classic narration, it's a classic Sierra narrator there. The menu is classic Sierra as well. You go to the top and then the top drops down and you have all your actions and stuff. So yeah, overall just a very classic Sierra title, I would say, and honestly deserves more love. I know people always think of Space Quest and King's Quest and maybe Leisure Suit Larry when it comes to Sierra games, but yeah, I think this is another title that should be more appreciated. Freddy Farkas. And I actually got to talk with Josh Mandel, the creator, the designer of this game. Yeah, very cool guy. He's in one of the point-and-click adventure Facebook groups I'm in, and yeah, just really cool to have some of the designers of these old school games actually be in those groups, so you can actually talk to them, which is really cool. And actually, this game was co-designed by Al Lowe as well, of Leisure Suit Larry fame, which yeah, is another reason to pick up this game. Obviously, if you like Leisure Suit Larry, a lot of the very similar type of humor is in this game as well.
Never approach a horse from reasons, at least one of which is utterly disgusting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the type of humor I'm talking about right there. So number 39 is The Dig, which also is a LucasArts game actually. However, it's a little bit unlike other LucasArts games because mostly LucasArts games are known for their humor and just not being serious. But The Dig is a bit different because it is more of a serious game. But also, like, I appreciate that as well, right? It proves that, well, LucasArts can make some serious point-and-click adventure games. So this one, you do play as some astronauts in space, and, well, this is in the future, right? Where you're investigating and excavating something, essentially. And it's cool, you have this communicator device with you, you can communicate with your HQ and everything. You control any of the three of these astronauts, actually. So here we're just planting a bomb on this asteroid, I believe. Yeah, so you gotta use the right tool for that. Surface, here we go. Yeah, also this is mid-90s, but I do like the fact that they use the classic pixelated sprite artwork as well. So this one again, I think it ages better. Yeah, so this one use some tools and equipment, detonate something on the asteroid. And then after you detonate and go in and stuff. So yeah, I do like the fact that this one focuses, yeah, it's more dramatic, more serious compared to other LucasArts titles. Yeah, overall I enjoyed it. It's unlike other LucasArts titles, I would say, and it's yeah, it's not quite as I mean, there is still humor in this game, obviously, but it's not as much as in other LucasArts games, and yeah, it's a bit different. Also, the sci-fi setting and everything, being able to control 3 different characters, all this is pretty cool. So I enjoyed playing The Dig a lot. One of my favorite LucasArts games. Number
Pretty good for 1993.
Number 38 is Legend of
production
Kyrandia,
value.
Hand of Fate, which is the second game in the Kyrandia series,
Click on
the
different
trilogy.
things here.
I like this one a lot. You get to play as the sassy sorceress in this one, unlike in the other ones.
Break this one.
I think
All I
this-
got is like fruits and vegetables.
yeah, this is
so
the only
far
one where
from
you get to play as her
Did you get
directly.
this tub from the Vikings?
I just wasted my fruits and vegetables. I gave him my blueberries and my onion.
Yeah.
And anyway.
Anyways, this girl is it's fun to play as her. She's pretty sassy and everything, and being a sorceress on this
What? That's a giant hand.
in the fantasy planet.
Hello, Mr. Hand. Are you enjoying your
Giant
I'd
hand.
love to stay and chat. But
What if I give him the onion?
It's basically like a combination
gone.
of Simon the Sorcerer and King's Quest, I think. So the Kyrandia series is
Well,
interesting,
well,
yeah.
well.
What the?
I mean, it is at its core kind of a King's Quest clone,
Okay.
but at the same
Thanks for
time,
the snack.
it's a bit different too. So I do like this as a King's Quest alternative, I would say. So if you guys like
blueberry.
King's Quest, definitely check out Kyrandia, all 3 games.
Are you gone yet?
But it's also got its own thing going as well, right?
Water,
So I
okay.
think there's a bit of Simon the Sorcerer in this thing as well.
it's already got its mouth full.
No,
Yeah.
can't feed it anything.
So it a little bit more fantasy based, I would say. Like even more fantasy based than King's Quest is. So yeah, very cool game. I think this was my favorite of the series. I just like playing as this
I
girl.
don't know what to do.
I think
Maybe I could
this sorceress girl I think was my favorite. So I enjoyed playing this one the most. The second game.
Cheated. Suzaku Redbird, Guardian of the South.
All right,
and
so number
Seiya.
37 is Cosmology of Kyoto,
Amulet, got
which
that.
is a very cool game.
All right,
so
I'm dressed in that.
first, I think this is kind of a cult classic type of game. Wasn't like very well known, but once you play it, it gets
And-
very deep. So this is obviously it's a Japanese game. It's like a first-person point-and-click title, but also you have a bit of Japanese mythology and history in here. So supposedly this is set in the early era of Kyoto, the ancient capital of Japan, in its ancient history, but also it's got like demons and stuff in it as well. So you get to learn about more Japanese mythology and stuff. So very cool setting. I like that. Yeah.
Is he a ghost or what? Transparent.
I like the fact that this kind of combines
playing
Japanese
some-
history and mythology together.
like cricket
Set in
almost.
ancient Kyoto. And it's also very graphically violent too. I mean, oh no, like this part he just slices the kid's head off. Oh man. Oh man.
Shit.
That's disturbing. But anyways, a lot of you can go pretty deep with this game. It's I don't even know how to describe it because it's a bit of everything. Adventure, it's also a bit of horror as well. And yeah, it's just a very unique experience, I would say.
Looking into that dead body.
Yeah, very unique experience. It kind of plays differently every time. You might run into someone different every time, and things just might go a different direction. I know I got sent to hell a few times in this playthrough.
Let me give you some more points then.
Keeps the demons away. Yeah, but anyways, just a very unique game. I don't even know how to categorize it. It is a point-and-click adventure, but
I don't even.
yeah, it's just got so many layers to it. So anyways, I do recommend people check it out. Cosmology of Kyoto. It actually does have it has a sequel as well, a very obscure sequel, but I don't think that one has been fully translated yet. Number 36 is Excavation of Hobbs Barrow. So this one is a more recent title, but I really enjoyed playing this one. So you play as this woman, and you guys can tell it's set in the past, kind of in the early 1900s-ish, in England. So yeah, and you're looking for, well, you're doing excavating, right? But actually she's looking for, she's hunting, right, for treasure. So essentially she's like a tomb, I say, a grave robber. Yeah, she's almost like a grave robber in a sense. She's trying to excavate, right, like tombs basically.
Jammed shut. The wood must have warped.
But yeah, this one is actually both an adventure game and kind of a horror game as well, because there are horror aspects of this game. So I consider this both a point and click and a horror title. But yeah, I enjoy playing this. yeah, you know, following this guy. There's like a lot of mysteries going on in this small town. Nobody wants to talk about Hobbs Barrow. Yeah, so there's definitely some secrets, let's say, that people are keeping hidden around here. It's done in a classic pixelated style, similar to early 90s point and clicks, which is what I like.
It will make the god angry.
What god?
Yeah.
Are you sure you want me to?
Yes, it will cure me of my.
Yeah, and has a Sierra type interface as well, because I see the menu drop
ready to
down
go
from the
to
top.
bed.
I feel the fret. Follow me.
But yeah, definitely very interesting game to play. One of my favorite modern point and click adventure games. Of course, it's done in a retro style.
My dad is paralyzed, I guess.
But yeah, there's some horror in this game going on as well. So
We walked
yeah,
and walked across that.
definitely.
At least he must
I
have
would
plenty
recommend
of
it, right, to a lot of people who are looking for, you know, something,
Do you know that young girl?
an indie point and click adventure game that was made kind of recently, and also it's got a lot of intriguing elements to it, I would say. Yeah, because it's like a mix of like mystery, adventure, horror. So that's a cool little combination that it's got. Also, the setting of like early 1900s England is pretty interesting as
Do
well.
you know anything else about the?
Number 35 is Star Trek: The Next Generation of Final Unity. Now there's a few Star Trek point and click adventure games, but I think this one was my favorite. It's based on the Next Generation, not the original Star Trek series. But yeah, done really well. First, you have this setting where you're in the Starship Enterprise, right? So you're going through space, and yeah, you're hailing, you're navigating, right? Going to different planets and stuff. So this is a different kind of interface where yeah, you can even do combat using Starship Enterprise as well. You can command Captain, you know, Picard, of course, the leader of the Starship Enterprise. You communicate with other races. So it's more than just a point and click adventure. It's actually full-on simulation sometimes.
Warrant an assault like this. I've been in contact with Starfleet headquarters.
See, so once you do a mission like this, you can actually beam down, and then once you beam down, then it becomes like a point and click. Yeah, so now it's a point and click adventure where you can control any of these 4 members, actually. Control any of these 4 members, and yeah, get to investigate all these different alien planets and stuff. So in this case, not even alien planet, it's like kind of like a space station. But still really cool. You know, it really made me feel like I was in the Star Trek universe. And being able to have so many gameplay options, like you have this point and click adventure here, but then you can also be on the ship, and then you can order them to go to somewhere else, another coordinate, and engage other species, right? Combat or communication or diplomacy. Just to look at. So there's a lot of things you can do in this game. Just really, really well done, I think. So I love the Next Generation, and also the other Star Trek games are good too. I think I played Judgment Rights and everything as well. But yeah,
okay, let's go back down.
Final Unity is still my favorite here. It's done really well. I think it's like a must play for any Star Trek fan here. Yeah, like that, beaming down. All right, so number 34 is The Adventures of Willie Beamish. So this game is it's very early 90s, I would say. Yes, it's a 1991 game, but this was the era of Bart Simpson, you know, where you have like late 80s and early 90s were like this, where you have these troublemaker type kids. And Willie Beamish is one of these kids, right? He's one of these rebellious troublemaker types, like Bart Simpson types. And basically, like there was a lot of movies out around this time, like Ferris Bueller was just kind of like this as well. And it really is like kind of playing a game where you control this kind of brat, right? This Dennis the Menace type brat. And yeah, I mean the premise is pretty unique. Look, that might as well be Bart Simpson right there. The premise is unique. Yeah, I don't know any other point and click adventure game where you play as a Bart Simpson type kid, but yeah, I do like the setting. Everything's just so early 90s. Or late 80s or early 90s, you know, that era. You know, it's like
lay down on the floor, what the heck?
I'm glad you're home. I'm up to my ears.
Yeah, you just play like this little spoiled brat, and you get a game over when you get sent to the military school, I think.
It's turned its
Nintari.
brains into guacamole.
Oh boy, needs a firm hand.
Yeah, so when you get sent to military, this is if you made the wrong choice. So this is something that I don't like about this game, is like if you do make the wrong choice, then you get just sent. It's a game over. You get sent to military school, and the game ends. But I do like the setting of or actually the setting and the gameplay of you playing this Bart Simpson-like kid. Like, I don't know any other game that we get to really, you know, be this kind of kid in this type of setting. And in a point and click, I guess it just makes sense, right? You almost feel like you're in one of those Bratty movies, right? And it's just it's got such an early 90s vibe to it. I love it. So anyways, despite that, but it's very easy to get a game over if you don't know the right dialogue option to pick. So that's the annoying thing about this one. Okay, so number 33 is a classic, I would say, a LucasArts game called Sam and Max Hit the Road. It's beloved. I mean, LucasArts made many beloved titles. Secret of Monkey Island, obviously, is probably the most famous one, but also Full Throttle and Grim Fandango, which is coming up later in this list. Sam and Max, where you play as these two buddy cop partners. It's really a spoof of the buddy cop genre. Right, we play as a dog and a bunny.
In my school computers back in the day. This game...
Yeah, so I played this when I was a kid. Yeah, it's just really well done. And yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah, this really
right?
is like playing like a Warner Brothers cartoon.
Yeah, it's classic for many reasons. I mean, it does play like a Warner Brothers cartoon.
What can I do for you?
Yeah, so you got this like classic buddy cop type of vibe to it. And you got like the dog and the rabbit.
Oh, it is. Snooky You is where
Yeah, and it's very early 90s in the sense that you had like this kind of dynamic in a lot of cartoons, right? Like Ren and Stimpy, for example. You had like you have like two kind of different personalities. Pinky and the Brain, you know, you have these two kind of different kind of personalities as buddies, and that's what the vibe you get from Sam and Max. I know they came out with a sequel, Sam and Max Save the World, I think, or something, but I still prefer the original. I think Hit the Road is just great. It's an all-time classic. It's up there with any of the other LucasArts classics. Secret of Monkey Island, or Monkey Island 2, I should say. Monkey Island 2, Grim Fandango, Full Throttle. It's really up there with Indiana Jones, Fate of Atlantis. It's really up there with any of those.
dialogue options in my...
Yeah. So, anyways, fun game to play. Especially if you guys like the early 90s Saturday morning cartoon type of vibe, then the Sam and Max. Yeah, it's an all-time classic. Iconic. LucasArts made so many classics back then. Alright, so 32 is I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. So this is a horror point-and-click adventure title, and psychological horror, I should say. And definitely the premise is very interesting. It's about a sentient AI that basically killed off all of humanity in the future. It became like evil, killed all of humanity, and left only 5 survivors. And you keep playing as one of these 5 survivors, and the AI basically tortures them for all of infinity. Like, they can die, but they'll just like resurrect them and then keep torturing them.
Lot of good that'll do me.
Yeah, so they'll just keep torturing these 5 people, and yeah, you're just trying to break free. But all these different settings and everything, it's yeah, all these 5 humans being tortured. I mean, man. It is a really disturbing game, which is why I also have it in my all-time horror point and clicks as well. But yeah, definitely, I think it's if you haven't checked it out, you like horror, psychological horror point and clicks, I think this is one of the best. This and Sanitarium and Phantasmagoria, these are some of the best horror point and click adventure games. Like this guy, he's you know, he's going back to the time when he was working with Joseph Mengele, the Angel of Death in the Nazi camp, where he used to experiment on different people. And this actually happened in history, right? They experimented on people in Nazi camps and stuff. And you go back to this time, and it is really quite disturbing. But also, like, yeah, if you play, you won't forget it. It's so memorable. It's memorable in a disturbing way. Also, I think it's well done. I mean, this is based on a book, I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. The author actually lent his voice to the AI, so the author had a big hand actually in creating this game, in producing this game.
Built into the cave wall.
So yeah, you get to play as 5 very distinctive characters as well, which the AI just keeps torturing and torturing.
Same as my other...
Anyways, this is a great game. I think you can actually buy this one, actually. It's not abandonware. So, yeah, I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. I think this one is a certified psychological horror adventure classic. Alright, so number 31 is Eternam, which I think is one of the most underrated point-and-click adventure games. Although technically it's not point-and-click because you don't really have the traditional point-and-click interface in this game, but I'm going to consider it a point-and-click anyways, because it is done sort of similar to that style. First of all, you'll notice in this game we have a first-person 3D interface here, like right off the bat. And that's because it uses the same engine as Draken, this other RPG for Super Nintendo. It's by the same developer, Infogrames. Yeah, they use the 3D first-person engine from Draken, which is actually quite innovative, and they put it in this adventure game. And what's really cool is once you go into a place, you're going to a building, then it turns into this more traditional 2D point-and-click adventure style. Although it's not really point-and-click because you don't actually point and click at stuff, but he automatically sees something, and then you have this dashboard down here that you can use to like talk to people, interact with things. So that's really cool, actually. Very unique to this game is you have this dashboard. Would you mind? And the voice acting in this game is hilariously bad, but
quite a major hero, right?
Yeah, it's
without first visiting the Duke.
Yeah, the voice acting in this game is hilariously bad. But that's also part of the charm in this game, actually. So anyways, you have this really cool 3D interface, which you don't really find in any other point-and-click adventure game of the era. It's 1992, right? This is like crazy for 1992. And then, yeah, like just the humor in this game. Look.
Down, Rex!
Look what happens. Look what happens with this dog. Okay.
Dog up like Foghorn Leghorn beats up like it.
Okay, you have like a Looney Tunes scene here, where this dog beats you up like Foghorn Leghorn. Look.
Down, Rex! That'll teach you to attack innocent varlets.
And then he beats him like Foghorn Leghorn beats the dog in Looney Tunes. Look at that. That's hilarious.
We wish to make it clear that no dog has been mistreated during filming. The dog is in fact a well-paid professional stunt hound.
And then they have to give you this disclaimer that the dog was not actually harmed because it was a professional stunt hound.
A most spiteful dog, don't you think?
Oh my god, the humor in this game is hilarious.
I'll die laughing.
You have a skeleton talking to you.
Have a message.
Oh wait, look at this. I go into this room, and a train comes out of the castle. The train comes out in the middle of the castle. It's ridiculous. Oh my god, the absurd humor in this game is just off the charts.
She was a noble or something.
The statues are like gossiping here, like, yeah, it's actually hilarious. And every time you die, you go through this weird like weird sequence here.
You have Vulcan
Skeleton, and then I was in. Yeah, so every time you die, you go through that weird sequence where you have this German doctor talking to you.
Nine. You never should have insisted.
You never should have insisted.
X-rays are without pity, you realize.
Yeah, anyways, this game is hilarious. More people should know about it. It's a really, it's kind of an obscure game. But I think more people should play this game and check it out. Eternam, guys. Wow. I mean, the first-person 3D interface, and then combined with a 2D perspective, combined with the innovative, not innovative, but unique dashboard, I would say. And then the absurdist humor, and then the sci-fi fantasy elements, wow. More people should check out this game. So Eternam, guys, definitely one of my favorite point clicks at number 21. Alright, so starting off at number 30 is Procession to Cavalry, and this is a very interesting point-and-click. It's actually a series of point-and-click adventure games where the whole background and artistic style is done in a medieval Renaissance style, as you guys can see. The artistic style is very unique, and yeah, this developer made 3 games like this. Four Last Things was the first one in the series, and then Procession to Cavalry the second, and then Death of the Reprobate is the third. I played all 3 of them. I think Procession to Cavalry might be my favorite out of the 3, but they're all pretty good. Yeah, it's just done in a very comedic, satirical way, where yeah, you play as one of these guys that looks like he came out of a Renaissance painting, and then or a medieval painting, and then you just go around different areas. They all have this kind of artistic style, and everyone's doing something really weird or comedic, and then this whole game's very satirical actually. And yeah, the things that people say are all very much so in the Monty Python way of doing things. So it's got that classic, I guess, British style humor to it, where it's like, yeah, very satirical, and yeah, it's really a game meant for comedic value, if anything. But just like other point-and-click adventures, you do have to like kind of figure out what's going on. But it's just a very unique experience because of the artistic style, right? It looks like everything came out of a medieval Renaissance painting, and yeah, everyone's just being very satirical and comedic when they're talking about even these areas. Yeah, with the guy's hanging on a cross, and he's like, he's not in the mood to talk right now because he's like, you know, being crucified and everything. Yeah, so anyways, out of the 3 games, they all have the same similar style. I think personally Procession to Calvary might be my favorite out of the 3. Yeah, but they're all pretty good, and yeah, just very, very unique art style. I don't think I've ever played any other game like this. So yeah, it's just very, very interesting game to play, and yeah, it's just cool to see like exactly what kind of scenes, you know, this game. It's like each scene is like a different Renaissance or medieval era painting. Yeah, it's like, I know this room is like full of them. So I guess this developer must have been inspired by a whole bunch of different paintings from the medieval Renaissance, Baroque eras, right? This is a pretty famous painting, right? Girl with a Pearl Earring. That's a very famous painting. But yeah, clearly the developers were inspired by a lot of these Renaissance era paintings and Baroque era paintings. Yeah, so and that's the art style that you see here in this game, which like I said, is completely unique to this series. I don't think I've ever played any other game with this kind of art style. So anyways, if you guys like Renaissance Baroque art and paintings, this is a series of games all inspired by that style, and they just have a lot of humor and stuff to it, a lot of satire and humor. So yep, definitely I think this one started off at number 30. I had to have my list. It's like definitely, I think still a lot of the more retro point-and-click adventures is probably more my style, but I just gotta put this game on the list because it is just so unique to play through. Yeah, it's a pretty unique experience. Alright, so number 29 is Darkseed. So Darkseed is a sci-fi point-and-click adventure game. There's 2 games in the series. I think the first one is a little bit better, and I'm playing the PlayStation version right now, which is a Japanese-only release, because I couldn't get the English Windows version working very well, I think. So I went with the Japanese PlayStation version. However, it's still playable because the voice dialogue is still in English. But the subtitles, as you guys can see, is in Japanese here. But yeah, this is so technically it came out early 90s, but useless items. PlayStation release was mid 90s, I think.
We'll see.
But I do like the graphical art style of this. It's like a it's a classic early 90s to mid 90s type of graphical art style. Like, it doesn't use the FMVs or digitized sprites that were so common in the mid 90s. So I do like that. I kind of get like, I feel like digitized sprites and FMVs were overused in the mid 90s. They were like using them so many games back then. But yeah, I do like this kind of aesthetic. I mean, the guy still is kind of a digitized, you know, sprite, but the background and everything else, like, that's, you know, still classic retro style. And the colors, yeah, kind of muted, but that's just to show the fact that, yeah, that this is like kind of like one of those gloomy sci-fi aesthetic games, right? And yeah, you wake up with this splitting headache, and if you don't fix it in time with your meds, an alien was actually going to pop out of your head, because aliens actually kidnapped you and experimented on you in this game. You play as Mike Dawson, this character, in both games. But the first one, I think, is a little bit better than the second one. I feel like the first one, the narrative's a bit stronger. Oh yeah, so this is like, this got horror aesthetic to it, right? So, like, he watches himself in the mirror. What's going on now? And then he transforms into this crazy alien. So there's definitely like a bit of a sci-fi horror aesthetic going on in this game as well, and a feeling of just uneasiness when you go out into the town and everything. So you can explore the town and then also look at the tombstones and everything. Yeah, so overall, yeah, I like the sci-fi horror narrative. I like the graphical aesthetic of this game. And yeah, overall, it's a pretty solid sci-fi point-and-click adventure game, I think.
Talk to this guy.
Anyways, Darkseed makes my list, number 29. Pretty solid. If you guys are looking for like a early to mid-90s sci-fi horror adventure game to check out, then definitely pick up this one. I think it was actually,
or rather, Yeah, he
So
is saying
so the
something. I just
artwork
can't
of
read
this
it in
game is
Japanese.
actually based
He is
on
saying
the
something.
author H.R. Geiger. So if you guys are familiar with H.R.
I don't know what he's
Geiger's
saying,
works,
actually.
then Darkseid basically is the representation of his works
call
in
for an
a
appointment
video
for
game medium. So,
Okay, well, I
yeah,
guess I can't go to the barber
I
shop.
think that's also why you see like kind of the art is drawn the way that it is because it's based on H.R. Geiger, which is
okay,
another
so I
cool
can't
thing
touch
about
her.
this game.
Of course you don't.
All right, so number 29 is another sci-fi horror point-and-click adventure game, and this is Harvester. So Harvester is pretty interesting. You wake up as this guy who has amnesia, who wakes up in the year 1953, I think, or the early or mid 50s, and yeah, you find out basically that you traveled back in time. And you wake up in this like stereotypical, I guess, 1950s suburban town, but you find out, slowly that things aren't all what they seem, and that creepy and disturbing things are happening. So eventually, with this game, you're gonna find out that basically more and more crazier things happen, creepier things happen, more violent and graphic things happen in this game, and aliens and stuff are involved, and cult-like behavior happens, right? So it's all a very intriguing story. If you guys are into sci-fi horror, right, this is another one of those games where it's like, there's something weird and disturbing going on, right? It's like you're in this 1950s town, but things just get weirder and crazier as time goes on. Like, oh, this guy's, he lost half his body, I guess. He's only half his upper torso. And yeah, this game, because it's a mid-90s game, it uses digitized sprites and everything very heavily. But that's fine, some horror and adventure games do this well, like Phantasmagoria, I think does it well as well. If you use digitized sprites properly, I think they can be done well, even though I do think they're a bit overused for games of this time period. But yeah, I like playing this game. I just thought it was,
would I kid about
meeting all these people in this town, and then things getting weirder and creepier and crazier. It was very intriguing to play. So, yeah, Harvester, guys. Definitely, I think this game did keep me busy for a bit.
Honestly.
Yeah, I also just like the fact that the setting and everything. It's like, I do like the 1950s setting. Just personally, I do like that kind of aesthetic, right? And just the fact that there's something weird and disturbing going on. Oh look, there's like little people there. Oh no, you need in bed with this girl.
I don't remember a damn thing either.
Really?
Yeah, but anyways, Harvester, if you guys look for another sci-fi horror game, kind of in a disturbing graphical way, then yeah, Harvester is that kind of game.
Me in my room.
Alright, so number 27 is Orion Burger. So this is another sci-fi point-and-click adventure game. This one is far more comedic in value, I would say, compared to Harvester or Darkseid. Yeah, this one is, as you guys can see, the aesthetic is very cartoony. You find out that you've been abducted by aliens at the beginning, but then they're supposed to erase your memory, but they didn't erase it properly. So you actually find out that they're going to harvest humans in order to make burgers for the fast food franchise in space called Orion Burger. So it's got a very like kind of not serious premise to begin with, right? Like the whole premise is that aliens are going to kill humans. Aliens are going to take over the Earth and kill all the humans to harvest them for making space burgers. So that's it's just the premise itself is not serious, but it's to me it's interesting. It's almost like you took some aspects of Freddy Farkas and then add in some of the sci-fi stuff in here as well, and you have a game that's I find fun to play and has a pretty good humor in it. Also, just the graphical aesthetic. Like, this is a mid-90s point-and-click adventure game, but not digitized. Doesn't use digitized sprites or FMV as other point-and-click adventure games do of this time period. So yeah, overall, I did like the aesthetic a lot.
What the heck?
So yeah. Anyways, this game doesn't seem to be as too well known or anything like that. Maybe it's a little bit obscure, but yeah, I enjoy playing this just as much as any other game on this list. Yeah, it's
You know what this reminds me of? The Seinfeld, George's parents. That's what it reminds me of. George Costanza's parents in Seinfeld.
Yeah, I guess The
Yeah,
voice
guy's
actor was
voice
pretty decent in this
half
one.
or the bottom half or both. Interesting.
Yeah, anyways, the humor, the art style, the whole like silly premise of this game, yeah, lots of reasons why I like it. So anyways, Orion Burger is on my list here at number 28. It's just a silly game, but it's fun. Yeah, like look, the dog has an eye patch and a peg leg. Like it's a pirate dog.
Pirate dog, man.
This is pretty silly stuff. Right. So number 26 is Leather Goddesses of Phobos 2. This is a pretty obscure point-and-click adventure game, and came out in the early 90s. It's actually the sequel to a text adventure game called Leather Goddesses of Phobos. I think that what makes this one memorable for me is just the whole premise and silliness of this game as well. Like even the title of the game, Leather Goddesses of Phobos, right? Like
even more repulsive.
It's clearly like a game that's kind of erotic, but also adds in the sci-fi campy humor at the same time. So yeah, it's it's just kind of a strange but also very interesting combination. It's yeah, it's a campy game to play. I like it. I like campy stuff. So it's got the campy sci-fi humor. Yeah, so it's like, okay, aliens are invading and stuff, but like people don't, like it doesn't take itself seriously, right? I mean, like we're going to a movie theater, you have like some stereotypical 1950s alien. It is set in a kind of 50s aesthetic too. So it's set in that kind of environment where it feels like it's the 50s, but then you have the aliens invading and everything, so it's almost like a parody of those 1950s sci-fi movies. So you have Eisenhower Nixon, right? So it's definitely, yeah, it's set in the 50s, and it's really kind of a parody of some of the campy 1950s sci-fi movies and stuff, which I do like. So I do like that whole campy 50s sci-fi humor in this game. But you combine that with some of the more erotic stuff in this game, and you just have kind of a unique point-and-click adventure experience. And I think more people need to check this game out, as I don't think it's that well known. But it's definitely worth a checkout, actually. So
I guess yeah, this is the process.
Yeah, and you basically walk around in this cozy 1950s town, and the people are just like, they're unaware basically that the aliens are invading, and or they're just some kind of yeah, they're basically, everything's just a parody of what you would find like in the 1950s, like what people would be like back then, how they would react to you, right? Because it's based on the 50s sci-fi humor, right? So anyways, I feel like that aesthetic and the whole setting is pretty unique. And then when you talk to these girls, yeah, you have multiple options to talk to those girls, and you can even kiss them, I guess, if you want.
This is a magic night.
Yeah. So anyways, it's kind of this combination of interesting aesthetics that makes me yeah, I really like this game. It's there's really no other point-and-click adventure game like it. Leather Goddesses of Phobos 2, yeah. I think more people need to check out this one.
I'd sell my...
If you guys like the sci-fi humor, campy aesthetic, yeah, check it out. Alright, number 25 is Toonstruck. And I have to say, like, this game, I wish I got farther. I really got stuck on one of the puzzles in this game, and I didn't get that far, but this game is unique, and I can just tell just from the aesthetic, it's very unique. So you play as this guy, played by the famous Christopher Lloyd. He gets sucked into this toon world, much like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, I guess. It's kind of a premise like that. And yeah, you have him. Basically, he's a digitized sprite in this game. It's the mid-90s, right? But he's interacting with yeah, the cartoon characters. So hence the name Toonstruck, right? And you're helping save their world and everything. So you could say that yeah, it's got some elements of a classic point-and-click adventure game, except the artistic style and the graphical style is really unique to this game. Just having yeah, just having like a, you're a digitized sprite and a human being, but you're stuck in this Looney Tunes land. essentially. So it's pretty funny in that sense. So anyways, yeah, in some ways, like graphically, yeah, I would say this game is just unique. I would say probably the closest comparison is Noctropolis, but Noctropolis has that comic book aesthetic, and then you have digitized sprites. But this game, you have, yeah, digitized sprites, but also the cartoon aesthetic with it. Plus, I think this game is a bit better written than Noctropolis. Not to say Noctropolis is, you know, that's still a pretty good game.
It does
but
remind
it's just,
me of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Not too
you know, you have.
So, yeah, yeah. Overall, I think the aesthetic of this game really pushes it over the top. But also, it's got the classic humor and everything that you would expect from point-and-click adventure games. So it's pretty well written too. Yeah, just overall, out of the point-and-click adventure games, I think this is probably one of the most unique aesthetic-wise, and also just as fun, right? It's a lot of fun being able to play like as a guy who gets sucked into. He's an artist actually. You got sucked into a toon world, and then you're supposed to protect this, well, help save this world, right? So yeah, it's just a classic kind of premise. That's just fun to play. So fun game, especially with the great Christopher Lloyd playing the main character. Alright, so number 24 is the Space Bar, and this is actually also a really unique game as well. It's a sci-fi setting, but it's also one of those that doesn't take itself seriously, and there's a lot of humor and stuff with this game. So yeah, this is it's one of those mid-90s games, so that means that it's kind of like the Myst style, right? Like a lot of the mid to late 90s games basically try to copy Myst in some way. So you basically move from first-person perspective, and then yeah, graphical point-and-click adventure elements are like kind of like Myst, but it's also very different than Myst because it's set in a sci-fi universe with a lot of humor that doesn't really take itself seriously. So you're basically like this space cop guy, and then you question like all these aliens and stuff. You're trying to find out, you're trying to find a criminal actually. So you're chasing a criminal, you have to talk to all these aliens and get info from them and stuff, ask them questions. So yeah, it's just a pretty fun game to play, honestly. Like playing as a space cop, asking all these aliens lots of questions, you know, lots of humor and everything, doesn't take itself seriously. Like here, it's a giant space insect talking to me, right? And over here was this like little a reptile guy, and then like a floating eye, like yeah, just. I think the one thing is that this game can be difficult. I think if you don't time things correctly, it can be difficult. But when you interrogate the people, sometimes you can go into their memories. That's what I did with this lizard creature here, because I went into, I think it's I went into her memories, and she's playing with her toys in her room or something like that. And I gotta like basically solve the little puzzle here to get to like do whatever and get out. And then this one, I'm talking to this alien plant creature, and then I also investigate the memories of that creature, and then where she was like a smaller plant and talking to the mom plant and stuff. So it's weird in a lot of ways, but also very, very cool, very fun and interesting concept, right? So yeah, you're like interrogating all these space aliens to find out where the criminal went, and you get to relive some of their memories and solve puzzles and stuff. So anyway, it's just a pretty interesting concept.
So this is a pet.
So yeah, the Space Bar. I do think more people should check this out.
It's like a dog.
It doesn't seem to be like really popular or anything. Like it's a little bit obscure, but it's yeah, I think it's a game worth checking out. If you guys are into like campy sci-fi humor and yeah, just being like a investigative space cop, reliving other aliens' memories. If that sounds interesting, you can check it out. Alright, so number 23 is Dragon Sphere, and this is the third and last of Micropose's series of point-and-click adventure games. The other two were Return of the Phantom and Rex Nebular. I liked Rex Nebular a lot as well. I was thinking about putting Rex Nebular on this list, but I think I might like Dragon Sphere just a little bit more. So Rex Nebular is kind of like essentially a clone of Space Quest. It's like a copy of Space Quest, right? So that's cool. But Dragon Sphere is, yeah, it's almost like King's Quest in many ways. but I enjoyed playing this game a lot too. Yeah, like this one is more mid 90s ish. So it's got some decent voice acting and stuff. The production value is a bit higher than Rex Nebular. Yeah, but also I liked all the different realms that you travel to in this one. Yeah, you're basically in this one you're trying to. Oh yeah, actually you're going on a quest basically. You're trying to stop the sorcerer, and you go to all these different realms to try to stop him. Each of these realms have basically their own special creatures, and yeah, it's a really fun adventure game actually. I enjoyed playing it. There's a lot of fantasy point-and-click adventure games that didn't make my list, unfortunately. Like Legend of Kyrandia was a pretty good one. Torrens Passage is another one. King's Quest, yeah, I didn't actually put any King's Quest games on my list here, but yeah.
Here comes a fair, dressed in
Yeah,
a
like all these different realms have their own beings, and they have their own puzzles to solve. So yeah, basically you travel to a realm here, and I think this one there was a girl that that was following me. I think in this one, just because I went right up to the tower, right? Yeah. And then this monster was attacking me, and the girl saved me.
Attack. Oh shit. Oh shit, she went down with it.
Ooh, yeah, so... Yeah, so you meet all sorts of crazy creatures and stuff in this game. So essentially, if you guys like King's Quest or Quest for Glory, then you also like Dragon Sphere. But yeah, I did have a fun time with this game. I felt like, as far as the King's Quest type games goes, there's a lot of adventure games that try to copy King's Quest or try to make something similar to King's Quest. I think this is probably one of the better ones.
Yeah, I wonder if she actually survived.
So yeah, anyways, Dragon Sphere makes my list here. And in my opinion, is probably the best Microprose developed adventure game as well. They have 3 of them. Rex Nebular I think is pretty great. I didn't like Return of the Phantom as much, but Dragon Sphere, yeah, I played this one the most probably out of the 3. Alright, so number 22 is a newer game on my list. It's called Urban Myth Dissolution Center. It's an indie point-and-click adventure game that came out recently, and I did like playing this game. It's more of an investigative style game where you try to investigate the different mysteries that's going on, like urban myths, right? Basically, that's why the game's called Urban Myth Dissolution Center. It's done in kind of it's done in a retro graphical way, as you guys can tell, but also has the anime aesthetic going on as well, right? It looks a little bit anime and also retro at the same time. So basically you're trying to investigate things, right? You have like clues and stuff that come up out of your smartphone, trying to investigate things, link things together. And yeah, I think this is probably one of my favorite indie point-and-click adventure games that have come out recently. I definitely had a good time with this one. So yeah, it's like once you kind of figured out the details, you have to piece them together. I'm not gonna say it's like Ace Attorney, but sort of like Ace Attorney way of piecing the clues together. And yeah, like basically you go to different environments, and then you also have the ability to kind of see ghosts and stuff as well, supernatural things. So you kind of like can turn that on and off. So anyways, if you guys haven't checked it out, I think this is there are a lot of really good point-and-click adventure games that's come out of the indie scene these days. So yeah, it seems like new ones come out all the time. Adventures of Fat Man I think might have been one of the first, which is also a pretty good game. But yeah, some of these recent ones are good. Midnight Special was another good one that was kind of inspired by Clock Tower that I really enjoyed as well, but didn't make my list, unfortunately. Kathy Rain, right? That's another good one. Unavowed, those are all good ones that came out recently that didn't make this list. But Urban Myth Dissolution Center, if you guys are interested in kind of investigative point-and-click games where you kind of try to figure things out, then this is like, yeah, this is one of them. And it's kind of a throwback to some of those late 80s, early 90s investigative point-and-click adventure games. I'm talking about like the Colonel's Bequest or Dagger Raymond Raw, those types of games, Cruise for a Corpse, right? Those types of investigative games. I think it's kind of a throwback to that. But anyways, yeah, Urban Myth Dissolution Center, pretty good one. Really enjoyed playing this one. And yeah, I have to say the graphical style is definitely up my alley too. This anime retro style, I think is pretty cool. Alright, so number 21 is Unusual Findings. So Unusual Findings is a fairly recent point-and-click adventure game I played, and I really loved it. Actually, the thing I love the most about it is the setting and the vibe and the atmosphere. I think it really does capture that 80s vibe. So the whole plot is actually very 80s-like. It's a coming-of-age type of story where it's like sci-fi related. You discover aliens that crash landed on the planet and everything. You have typical guys that are almost like tropes of characters you might find in 80s movies. Like the main character looks like he's like Marty McFly from Back in the Future, and this guy looks like he's like Karate Kid, like Daniel LaRusso. They look like caricatures of 80s characters and kids basically. And yeah, it has that whole like coming of age vibe, that whole discovery vibe that you get from the 1980s films, which is really cool, right? That whole age of kids doing their own exploring and the sense of wonder and discovery back then. Yeah, it was just kind of a different vibe back then because you had all these coming of age type movies back in the 80s, and it was just kind of a special time. And we have a lot of references too. Obviously, you can see Star Wars: Return of the Jedi here. But you'll see like many other references in this game. I think I saw a Fright Night reference as well. And then the main character makes references to classic movies,
yeah, the color bars used to be
like the 1930s Universal horror movies and stuff. All really cool. There's references to Star Wars and everything. Yeah, just everything is kind of like a reference to the classic 80s era of movies and everything. So that's what I really love about it. The sci-fi, the coming of age type vibe that you get from the whole 80s vibe you get from this game. Yeah, the nice pixelated graphics. I mean, it's just a really charming game with a lot of heart, I think. So anyways, yeah, really do love this game. Was one of my favorite recent point-and-click adventure games, I would say. So definitely, if you guys haven't checked out Unusual Findings, and if you guys like the 80s and 80s movies in particular, definitely check it out. Really cool, really fun. Check it out. Alright, so number 20 is Thimbleweed Park. This is a, I would say fairly recent. It's not like too recent or anything. It's 2017. Yeah, so it's not like too recent, but it's still like a modern point-and-click adventure game. And done in kind of a retro style. And what's special about this one is, first of all, it was written by the same like some of the same guys who made Secret of Monkey Island and Maniac Mansion, which is from LucasArts. They are part of the team that created this game. So that's cool, and you guys can maybe see the graphical similarities because in this game you can see that the point-and-click interface here looks a lot like the one you see in Maniac Mansion. Also, the way the characters are drawn look like the ones, Zach McCracken or Maniac Mansion type. So I can tell you, like, graphically and interface-wise, it's very much inspired by Maniac Mansion and Zach McCracken. So that's very cool. And also the ability to control different protagonists at once. That's also something from Maniac Mansion. So again, like I said, even in modern day point-and-click adventure games, not too many where you can just control different protagonists. But in this one you can. So yeah, it's very, very cool. I would say if you're a fan of the early LucasArts games like Secret of Monkey Island or Maniac Mansion or Zach McCracken, definitely check this one out. I think this one's done very well, written very well. It's got some of the classic LucasArts humor. So, and it depends like who you play as, but both of these characters who look like, I think it's a reference to Mulder and Scully from X-Files. They have their own kind of personality and will deal with the situation a bit differently. Their dialogue's a bit different as well. So, yeah. Anyways, I love the humor in this game. I love the graphical aesthetic. It's basically like a throwback to the early LucasArts games. And yeah, the writing, humor, and the fact that you control different characters, all very, very cool. So I would say out of the more modern point-and-click adventure games released in the last 10 years, Thimbleweed Park is definitely one of my favorites as well. That's why it makes this list. Definitely check it out if you guys are interested in some early LucasArts style games, but in a more modern game. Alright, let's go on with the indie modern point-and-click adventure games, and this one is the Crimson Diamond, which just came out last year. One of my favorite games, actually. It made my top 30 of the games I played last year, because I really did enjoy playing this one. The graphical style and elements of this game is very much inspired by The Colonel's Bequest, which is an old 1989 Roberta Williams written point-and-click adventure game that's part of the Laura Bow series. So this game is very much so inspired by that. Like the setting, the main character, everything is very much inspired by Laura Bow's Laura Bow point-and-click adventure games, mainly The Colonel's Bequest. And I actually like this even a little bit better, to be honest. And that's, that's a huge compliment to the developer of this game, Julie Hinamada. She actually really did mention in an interview that she was obviously quite influenced by Colonel's Bequest, and made a game that was similar yet also distinct in its own way. So yeah, the graphical style and everything, the setting of this game, it's all very similar to The Colonel's Bequest, but with some little distinctive differences as well. Obviously the character is not Laura Bow, she's a little bit different, but yeah, I would say if you guys like Colonel's Bequest, or just any of the older Sierra point-and-click adventure games and investigative games, definitely check this one out. The Crimson Diamond's great. It uses a text parser, by the way, so this is not one of the newer style point-and-click adventure games. It uses an old-school text parser, which again I think may be an influence of The Colonel's Bequest. So yeah, but it's still a great game to play. I personally don't like text parser as much as having the more truer point-and-click interface, but yeah. But still, it's still an amazing game to play. So, anyways, yeah, if you guys are interested in old school Sierra point-and-click adventure games with text parsers, and especially, I would say, Roberta Williams, Laura Bow games, especially The Colonel's Bequest, definitely check this game out. Clearly inspired by it, but also very distinctive in its own way. You're trying to investigate, a mystery that's happened at this house. So, and you can eavesdrop and trying to find out different clues and stuff like that. So, it really is at its heart, late 80s style investigative mystery point-and-click adventure. So, if that interests you guys, definitely check it out. Alright, so number 18 is Read Only Memories Neurodiver, which is also a fairly recent indie point-and-click adventure game. This is actually the sequel to another game called 2064 Read Only Memories. Yeah, so this one is, the reason why I have it fairly high on my list is, first of all, I do like the setting and the aesthetic of this game. It's done in this retro pixelated style, but also evokes kind of the feeling of a PC-98 game. Which is, I always love that kind of graphical style, but it's kind of Japanese retro aesthetic, also in a cyberpunk setting. So it's definitely in the future, right? And it's sort of like a cyberpunkish setting. And also what you do in this game is sort of also investigating stuff as well. So you play as this girl, ES88, and she has this device, basically, that can look into people's memories. It's not part of the game, read only memories. Kind of, go into people's memories and try to figure out what happened. So these are trying to basically go into memories, trying to piece together what happened. So there's a little glitched up part of this memory here that you kind of have to figure out. So yeah, there's definitely investigative sections of this game. And I do like that kind of kind of gameplay as well.
Oh, okay.
So here you find out that it was actually, if we went to repair this memory fragment, you find it was actually that guy. But yeah, if you guys are interested in investigative point-and-click adventure games, definitely check out this one. But I also like the fact that it's the setting is a cyberpunk setting, and kind of more Japanese retro graphical aesthetic as well, reminiscent of a PC-98 game. So definitely very cool. So anyways, I like 2064 read-only memories as well, but I think Neurodiver is, I like it a little bit more. Yeah, so...
why not just forgot your password?
Yeah, anyways, I don't know why this game didn't get too much coverage when it came out. I guess it wasn't quite as popular,
I think that's the only
or covered as much, but definitely I think out of the yeah, out of the point-click adventure games I played recently, this is definitely one that stood out to me. I do like using this neurodiver device to dive into people's memories and try to repair memory fragments and solve mysteries and stuff. It's just a cool thing, right? So, anyways, I don't know why this game isn't more talked about. Maybe because there's so many indie games coming out, but this is definitely one that stood out to me. Anyways, yeah, I had a good time playing it. Yeah, so number 17 is an all-time classic horror point-and-click adventure game. And I consider horror games kind of like a subset of adventure games, so, you know, horror games do count. This is Sanitarium. And Sanitarium is considered a classic by many because it's like simply one of the most like creepiest, disturbing games that you'll play. In a very memorable way. Now, I'm not sure if it's a good way because it depends on the person, right? But at least for psychological horror, this is probably one of the most memorable psychological horror games I've played. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot I don't understand.
Yeah, so you start off as this guy with amnesia and you don't know why you wake up in this sanitarium. You try to get out. Once you get out, you wake up in this creepy town with like deformed children and everything. There's no parents around. And the further you go in this game, the kind of more creepier and disturbing it gets. But yeah, this is a late 90s game, so yeah, there's definitely going to be like more F&B sequences and stuff in this game. But still, it's a very memorable game, right? It's just I've never played a game that was like so creepy and disturbing like this. And like I played a lot of games, right? And yeah, probably only a very few games would match this in terms of how. Yeah, like, is it like, it's psychological horror, so I think this is definitely one of my top psychological horror games, right? There's a lot of psychological horror games, but probably one of the most memorable ones for me. Yeah, very creepy, very disturbing, very memorable, and I recommend anyone who's into horror, adventure, or psychological horror, point-and-click adventures or games to check this one out. So it's just considered a classic. So yeah, Sanitarium, definitely like the more of this game you play, I would say that I don't know. I just feel like the more I play this game, it's like it's more intriguing, but also it's like, should I keep playing this or not? You know, I get that kind of feeling. Yeah, do I want to find out more about this game or not? It's like once I keep playing it. Part of me wants to keep playing because I'm intrigued, but also part of me is like, oh shoot, there's something seriously wrong, you know, going on with the people in this game. Like this kid here has two chins, I guess, like no, 2 mouths and 2 chins, like you know, do I want to keep getting freaked out like this? You know, it's part of me. So part of me wants to keep playing this game because I'm intrigued. But the other part is like, oh man, like what kind of more grotesque stuff am I gonna see here in this game?
Mr. Orange Poop, you must have boogers for.
Well, this one did. It was.
Yeah. Anyways, very memorable game. It's considered a kind of like a classic psychological horror game for good reason. So yeah, Sanitarium has to make my list. Alright, so number 16 is what many will consider to be an all-time classic point-and-click adventure game, which is Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis.
Is there anything to do back here?
Yeah, this is an all-time LucasArts point-and-click adventure game, and is created during LucasArts' peak in the early to mid-90s, I would say. And yeah, it's not just about the Indiana Jones connection. I mean, obviously, if you're a fan of Indiana Jones, definitely pick up this game. But if you're just a point-and-click adventure fan in general, like this is a classic. It's considered a classic by many for a good reason. It's just very well written. You got the classic LucasArts kind of interface right here. It's a SCUM engine, of course. Yeah, it's just written very well. It's pretty much like if you think of an Indiana Jones movie, if they turn Fate of Atlantis into the movie, I would say it's probably as, you know,
this is a different
as well written
as
any of the greatest, as one of the
version.
Some of the best
version,
Indiana Jones movies, right? Like
as somewhere else.
Yeah, like Raiders of the Lost Ark or Last Crusade. It's just really well written. And I remember playing this when I was a kid because it was on like a shareware CD that my father brought to home, and he often brought home like these shareware CDs full of shareware games.
Come on, we can fight.
Oh yeah, you can also fight in this game as well, a little bit. Not too much fighting, but you can fight in this game too. But yeah, just overall, it's a classic, right? You play as Indiana Jones, and you try to like kind of solve the mystery of Atlantis and everything. It's just very intriguing to play. Yeah. So it was actually very successful, and I believe it was LucasArts' best-selling game at the time, or is their best-selling point-and-click adventure game at least. It was so successful, in fact, that you can see other point-and-click adventure games try to copy it, like Flight of the Amazon Queen, for example, which is also a pretty decent game. They definitely try to copy Fate of Atlantis, though. So, yeah, just from the aesthetic and everything. But yeah, it tells you how successful and how great this game actually was. You know, it's if you have competitors copying your game, that's how you know you're successful. But anyways, this is a classic of the point-and-click adventure genre. I think many people have beloved memories of playing this game, as do I. So that's why Indiana Jones has to make this list. It's just a great game. Number 15 is Neuromancer. So Neuromancer is a cyberpunk point-and-click adventure game released in 1989 for DOS, and I played this quite recently. It was pretty cool. This says to be one of the first sci-fi point-and-click adventure games. I mean, there's Space Quest as well before that.
CGA
but
graphics.
For cyberpunk, I think this is one of the first. I mean, this came out 5 years before Beneath the Steel Sky.
Move along, citizen.
So it's pretty early. As you can tell from the graphics, obviously, 1980 early point-and-click adventure, but
all the dystopian
still fun to
stuff
play.
in cyberpunk games.
Yeah, I like the fact that you play as a hacker and you can jack into certain terminals and stuff as long as you have the right keyword, and you can go into cyberspace and do stuff. So overall, it's a pretty cool, ambitious point-and-click adventure game. It's actually developed by Interplay, the same developers as Wasteland and Fallout. So that's pretty interesting. Although this game is not as well known as Wasteland or Fallout, but
credits, yeah.
It's also based on a previous book that was released in '84, I believe. So if you guys have read the book, then this is loosely based on the Neuromancer
Attractive
book.
woman named Akiko is waiting
But yeah,
beside the massage table. There's a
this game's pretty fun. I think the only thing is that just like with other older point-and-click adventure games, you really need to
happy ending massage parlor.
You really need to do your research in this one.
Buy some info.
Like you need to like jot down all the different codes and stuff that people tell you. Yeah, like she just this massage girl just told me about.
You just bought yourself some info.
Yeah, some link codes basically. You need to remember these link codes in order to jack into the right terminals and
Your
stuff.
coffin is
in addition to that, there's a text parser in this game in certain areas, so you need to type in the right text, basically. Otherwise, and it has to be exact text. Otherwise, you won't get the right answer.
Enter this one, Microsoft. Nope.
Anyways, all that's to say, older point-and-click adventure games definitely need a lot of patience to play.
Please proceed.
This one's no exception. But if you do have the patience to play it, I think it's worth checking out. Yeah, it's still a game that really hasn't really gotten a sequel since, I don't think. Yeah, no sequel. It's just one of the early cyberpunk point-and-click adventure games, and I think it's worth to check out. And it's actually free because it's abandonware right now. And yeah, you can use many different. I guess you can buy many different decks. Is what you use to jack in.
Hang out for Joe Boys,
and each one has the different abilities and stuff in cyberspace, which is pretty cool. All right, number 14 is Uninvited. So this is a first-person point-and-click adventure game that was part of a trilogy of Mac Venture games. Actually, there was Deja Vu, Shadowgate, and Uninvited, with three that originally released for Macintosh back in the 80s. The version I'm playing right now is the Nintendo version because actually the graphics look better on this version than the original Macintosh version. It's a horror point-and-click adventure, which I think does count, right? Like point-and-click adventures can also be horror games as well. This one happens to be a horror-themed point-and-click adventure, and very easy to die in this game. But again, this is a very old-school game, so just like with Neuromancer, it's like, well, actually, this is just like with Shadowgate and Deja Vu, right? Because this is by the same developers. So just like with Shadowgate and Deja Vu, if you guys have played those games, a lot of easy ways to die, a lot of trial and error, so it's pretty brutal in that sense. So yeah, you really gotta just try out things, and I mean that's just the case with point-and-click adventures. You really just gotta try out to see what works and what doesn't. However, Uninvited is just like really one wrong move and you just die. So you really gotta be careful about it. But I do like the setting. You know, it's in a haunted house. What a classic horror setting. And yeah, you gotta be careful, otherwise you might just end up dead. But yeah, the vibe of this game is pretty creepy. So if you guys like horror games and point-and-click adventure games, definitely check it out. It's a pretty creepy. It's the first person as well, right? A lot of other horror games that's also point-and-click adventures like Maniac Mansion, for example, or Hugo's House of Horrors. Yeah, those are also set in a haunted house too, but they're more of a traditional style where it's like, you know, the side view perspective where you walk around. Uninvited is a little bit different because it's in the first person style, so it's a little bit different here. But yeah, very, very interesting game. Again, a lot of trial and error, but I highly recommend it. Alright, continuing on the theme of horror point-and-click adventure games, let's go with Phantasmagoria at number 13. Came out in 1995 for DOS. And this is an interesting game because it was actually directed by Roberta Williams, the co-founder of Sierra, who also was the director of the King's Quest series. So, yeah, I mean, she wrote the King's Quest series as well. But yeah, Phantasmagoria's got that B horror movie vibe to it. I think that's what really endears me to this game. And if you look at the graphics going on here, a lot of it's full motion video. So like the main character, like she moves around, and she was actually shot like as in a movie, right? So she's actually moving around like full motion video. So that's pretty cool, and just the whole vibe of this game. Yes, it's a horror point-and-click adventure, but it's also yeah, it's got campy vibes to it as well. It's got creepy vibes, you know, sometimes, of course, but it's also got campy vibes sometimes too. So it's got them both. So I think that's what makes this game interesting for me to play. You know, you can pick this up on GOG actually, and actually still looks pretty good, I would say. Obviously, it's got that 90s vibe to it, but you know, that's the charm of that era. You know, a lot of games in that era used full motion video, and just kind of adds to that 90s charm. Yeah, but anyways, pretty campy B-movie type of vibes to it. And there are some creepy moments, like genuinely creepy moments in this game where it's like a bunch of full motion video, stuff happens, some weird stuff happens. But overall, yeah, I enjoy playing it. So also, if you guys like horror point-and-click adventure games and you like the kind of B-movie horror vibes, then check it out, Phantasmagoria. Alright, so number 12 is going to be an iconic point-and-click adventure game. This is Maniac Mansion by LucasArts. It was released in 1987. It was LucasArts' first point-and-click adventure game. And actually, they developed the SCUM engine specifically for this game. The MM part of SCUM stands for Maniac Mansion, for those of you guys who don't know. So now SCUM is kind of used to emulate a lot of old school retro point-and-click adventure games. But Maniac Mansion was the very first game it was developed for. And this is the game that really it kind of really pushed off LucasArts' point-and-click adventure series, and they made a lot of great games after that, right? Zach McCracken, the Alien Mindbenders, for example, that came out right after this, the very next year, which is another great game. I think I went with Maniac Mansion because this is like a even more iconic game that I played just a little bit more than Zach McCracken. But yeah, this one came out, and Secret of Monkey Island later came out, all using SCUM engine, of course. What makes Maniac Mansion really influential and iconic, though, is that it has this classic haunted house setting, and also like this interface, right? Like before this, right? You're talking about a lot of graphical adventure games were using text parsers, right? So they were using text parsers and stuff back then. So this was kind of very innovative at the time to have this kind of system, and also being able to control different characters at the same time, being able to switch characters. That was kind of a new, still is actually a very innovative thing if you're talking about these retro style point-and-click adventure games. Like not too many even more modern point-and-click adventure games will allow you to switch characters like that. So for all these reasons, I think Maniac Mansion has to make my list. It is one of the greatest, most influential point-and-click adventure games I would say of all time. It's just, yeah, this is for LucasArts what King's Quest was for Sierra, basically. It really kickstarted LucasArts' point-and-click adventure gaming department to the point where they were considered the major competitor to Sierra when it comes to graphical adventure games during that time. So yeah, and it's a great game, and like, you know, this classic haunted house setting that would be used by a lot of later horror games and adventure games. But you know, Maniac Mansion did this all the way back in 1987. You know, so got to give it credit. It's really a pioneer in so many ways, and still it's not like it has aged. It hasn't aged very much at all. I still can play Maniac Mansion today and still have fun with it. The game is really that good. So Anyways, Maniac Mansion
Old
on my
Robin
list
Turkey.
at number 12.
Play through this game.
Alright, so number 11 is Clock Tower, and this is the
I'm happy
Rewind
to
version,
just,
which is a
finally got a Western
remaster that
release.
came out
That's really
in
cool.
2024, pretty recently
And,
last year.
it's a remaster
Yeah,
on top of that.
I think this is probably the best way to play
with
Clock
quality
Tower right now,
and
well,
stuff.
because the
So,
original was never
he
officially released
plays
in
it
North
as
America.
This girl, basically in this haunted house.
So
You do
yeah,
some
it's
investigation.
really a classic of the horror genre and the point-and-click genre, because it is a point-and-click game as well as being a horror game. And I think really set the standards for this kind of game, because you can see like many even newer games like Midnight Special kind of using Clock Tower. The original Clock Tower is the influence and inspiration. So yeah, this is actually pretty unique even for the Super Nintendo. So this was originally released for the Super Nintendo in Japan only, right? You actually control a cursor on the screen, which is not something you usually do in a Super Nintendo game. So I do definitely consider it a point and click. You do get stuff in your inventory and you do point and click around, right? But it's also a landmark horror title as well, and inspired a bunch of other horror titles. Obviously, the other Clock Tower games that came as sequels as well. So yeah, this game never officially got released in North America until last year when this Rewind edition came out. And yeah, I'm glad that it finally got an official North American release now. But yeah, this one, it's a remaster, so it touches up the graphics and everything, and I believe adjusts the AI as well, because I noticed that the enemy in this game, which is, I think his name is Bobby, the little guy with the scissors, he's a bit more aggressive in this one than the original version. So I think the AI has been adjusted, just as terrifying as the original, I'd say. So it's got a great sense of atmosphere and everything. He plays Jennifer. It's the main character here. You can even see her facial expressions and everything. Yeah, it's just as terrifying as the original, and actually more so because the AI is actually more aggressive in this one. So yeah, and of course I love the graphics. This has been a 16-bit Super Nintendo, right? I think I just, oh yeah, I found him. I found him beneath this curtain, right? Yeah, just look at that moment where she opens the curtain and then, bam!
Oh shit! Oh my god!
He's out there, and then yeah, you basically have to get away from this guy. He's coming at you with giant scissors. And you can see Jennifer's facial expression, her eyes, expression on her eyes. You had to run away from him. But yeah, it's just a brilliantly done horror game and a pioneer of the genre. Yeah, and it belongs in any list of both horror games and point-and-click adventure titles. And for me, yeah, I had to put this in my all-time point-and-click adventures list because it is. I mean, it's a point-and-click title. Just it's a horror title as well. So, and it's a great one at that. And Rewind is probably the best way to play it now. So, go pick it up. So number 10 is going to be Beneath the Steel Sky, released in 1994, developed by Revolution Software for DOS. And yeah, this is it's a game I played in February 2021. So this is like I played it like a year and a half ago. I really like this game. It was it's a cyberpunk point-and-click adventure game, and you know, anything cyberpunk already got my interest. So yeah, I mean, there's a few cyberpunk games I kind of wanted to put on here too. There was Gemini Rue, Lacuna, Tales of a Neon Sea, Techno Babylon, I think, are all games I could have put on here. But Beneath the Steel Sky is one of the original like OG cyberpunk point-and-click adventure games. So definitely, I think I had to put this one on there. It's just a great game. I mean, it's a cult classic actually. So you can find it on GOG, I think, is where I played it from. So yep, this is going to be my number 10 pick. It's the great cyberpunk point-and-click adventure. Number 9 is Blade Runner Enhanced Edition, which came out just this year, and I played it a few months ago. Yeah, it was originally developed in 1997 by Westwood Studios, but the remaster is done by Alcorn Entertainment. I think that's the name. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, Blade Runner. I mean, I love the movie, right? So it's the quintessential cyberpunk movie. And the game is it's its own thing. I mean, it's not something actually based on the movie at all. Like the movie, you know, has the main character is Rick Deckard, and you know, has to locate some rogue replicants. But this game is it's its own thing. It's not really related to the main Blade Runner movie. So it's interesting because Blade Runner, this game is not really based on the. I mean, it takes like a lot of elements from the movie, the atmosphere and the environment and the setting of the movie, but the actual game is quite different than the movie, so it's not really related. So yeah, anyways, I really like this game because, well, I like the whole cyberpunk universe of Blade Runner. I know some people had some issues with the enhanced edition, but to me it's I think if you wanted to check out this game, this is probably the best way to enjoy it. You can pick this one up on Steam. The original, you can pick it up on GOG as well. But yeah, I mean, the whole Blade Runner aesthetic, you know, I love it. Look at the car, right? The police. Such a classic cyberpunk type of setting. Yeah. Reminds me of, you know, when Rick Deckard was sitting in his car, just flying throughout the futuristic LA. So, yeah, this is my pick for number 9. Alright, number 8 is going to be Tex Murphy, The Pandora Directive. So this game originally came out in 1996 for DOS, and yeah, this is it was developed, I think, by Access Software, and I played this just last month. So it's a pretty recent game I played, but I really like this game. So it's Tex Murphy's interesting. Like, I didn't hear about this series until recently, but they actually made a few games, and Pandora Directive, I think, is probably the best one. A lot of people actually like this one as well. Pandora Directive. It's Tex Murphy 4, and I got it on GOG, and it's a point and click from a first-person perspective. So yeah, you basically do a lot of investigating by clicking around objects and stuff on the screen, but also there's a lot of full motion video in this game as well. And I think the actors and actresses in this game do a pretty good job. It's just very campy. Like, this game doesn't really take itself that seriously, which is what I kind of like about it as well. So it's got a very campy vibe to it. You can tell, like, they got a lot of, like, B-list actors and actresses here, but it gives off that campy vibe, and it really doesn't take itself seriously. So I think that's what I like about Tex Murphy, is that it's a fun game to play and check out. So that's going to be my number 8. Number 7 is going to be Day of the Tentacle Remastered. So the original Day of the Tentacle released in 1993 by LucasArts. One of LucasArts' best games. I mean, LucasArts has so many great games, right? Secret of Monkey Island, Full Throttle. But yeah, Sam & Max, those types of games. But I like Day of the Tentacle.
How's your new band doing?
I also like the fact that LucasArts point-and-click adventure games never take themselves seriously. Like, they're always so fun to play and enjoyable. They put a lot of humor in their games. So yeah, the remastered version done by Double Fine Productions, released in 2016. I played this again just a few months ago. So yeah, a lot of these are actually recent games that I played. But it's already on my top 10 list. I like this game. Basically, you're split up into, like, you and your friends are split up into different time periods, and you have to work together, you know, try to find your way back. And then it's kind of like actually the sequel to Manic Mansion, which is another great point-and-click adventure game that didn't make this list. But yeah, like a lot of LucasArts games, I enjoy the humor and in the fact that this game it's just fun to play. So.
Good luck in saving the world, B-Man.
Yeah, so it's got a lot of campy humor, sci-fi to it. So I guess you guys already know what kind of games I enjoy here for the point and clicks. Yeah, sci-fi, humor, campy. So that's my number 7. Number 6 is going to be Policenauts, which I just played yesterday. Yeah, I mean, I really like this game, so it's already made my top 10 point and clicks. And yes, I consider this a point and click game. Technically, it could be like it's a graphic adventure, but it has point and click elements, right? So there's elements where you have like a cursor where you move around and investigate stuff. So I count it as a point and click as well. So Snatcher, which is the game that Hideo Kojima made before this, doesn't count. That's why Snatcher didn't make this list, is because it doesn't actually have any elements where you use a cursor and you point and click around. Well, technically there's the shooting ones, but yeah, this game actually has elements of the game where you take a cursor and you point and click and you investigate stuff. So that's why this one can make the list instead of Snatcher. So. Anyways, this game came out originally in '96 for a bunch of platforms. Originally for the PC 98, but then released for the Sega Saturn, 3DO, and PS1. And yeah, I really like it. I mean, it's by Konami, of course. It's a Hideo Kojima game. And yeah, it's considered to be a spiritual successor to Snatcher, which is a really good game also. But yeah, what I like about this game, it's similar to Snatcher in some ways because it's got the futuristic sci-fi setting, and it's got, you know, a lot of the 90s anime type of vibe to it, which I love 90s anime. And then it's got a nice story to it as well. So again, there's Snatcher and then there's Police Knots. Both of these are really good games in their own ways. And yeah, and the fact is this game never got official released in the West, so I'm playing a translated version here. But yeah, I really like it. I really enjoy playing this. So, ready Police Knots. And yeah, since it's the Japanese version, you can really do some pretty, I mean, it's not censored, right? So you can actually ask some pretty risque questions and flirt with the girls here and stuff like that. Anyway, it's got elements of a visual novel to it. I mean, yeah, so it's kind of like a graphic adventure, but also point and click, but also visual novel. So, anyways, number 6 is Police Knots. Right, so number 5 is Riven, the sequel to Myst. And this is the remake that came out last year, 2024, and actually supports VR as well, which is probably, I'd say, the most immersive way to play it. I know, yeah, I played the original, which is great. I think it's my favorite out of all the Myst games, and I think it's a lot of people's favorites. It's just done really, really well. Yeah, but the remake, I mean, you can just fully look around and everything. You don't even have to go through like the traditional slideshows that you have to do in the original, right? I love the world. So this is just a nice remake from the ground up, designed to look like the original, and I think it's probably the best way to play it now, especially in VR. So what can I say about Riven? The puzzles are just all-time classic and great. Anyone who loves Myst, of course, will love Riven as well. But I just think that Riven, as the puzzles are better in Riven, and the environment and everything is probably a bit better and fleshed out in Riven. I know Myst is, you know, more iconic because it's the original game. That's what the entire series is named after, and Myst inspired a whole bunch of games, right? Like all the first-person point-and-click puzzle games that you got in the 90s were all inspired by Myst, but Riven, I think, it just improved on Myst in many ways. So I think it's my personal pick here. And yeah, what better way to play it than having this remake here with the graphics and everything all updated and stuff. So yeah, I think this is probably the best way to play it now. So I didn't expect this remake to come out, but I'm glad that it did. It's just like, yeah, you see everything, all the graphics in much higher fidelity, right? You see like the waves and stuff moving. Before it was just full motion video on a loop, right? But now you actually see like, you know, everything being dynamically generated with today's technology. So yeah, anyways, very, very awesome game. I still like love going back to all these Myst fantasy worlds, and Riven is a great world to go back to, you know. I like how this Riven mostly just focuses on one world as well, whereas with the other Myst games sometimes it loses focus because you're like going between all these different worlds, but Riven is pretty focused on this world. So anyways, I do think the puzzles are kind of tighter as a result. So yeah, if you guys haven't played Riven or Myst, definitely you should, because there's remakes for both. There isn't remakes for the other 3 Myst games, like Myst 3, 4, and 5. There isn't, but for Myst, the original, of course, there's real Myst, and then there's Myst VR, and then there's Riven, of course. I think one of the great things that I think when I first played this game was going into this little shuttle thing, right? Even in the original game, it was full motion video. But so in this game, this is pretty cool. Going to this little shuttle thing that takes me on here, and yeah, you could get to see that. Let's just take a look here. It's just for me, like even back in the day, in the 90s, you do this, and then there's full motion video that plays, and it kind of just blew my mind in the 90s when this happened, right? Because you're talking about like, yeah, like when Myst did it, it was like 1993, and like Myst and Seventh Guest were like some of the real pioneers of the first-person adventure genre. But yeah, like, just to see this happen in full motion video is still really, really cool. Gash in the ocean but yeah, this is not even full motion video, right? Of course, in the remake, this is just all this dynamically rendered. So that's the modern technology that we have now. Yep, the greatness of modern technology. And yeah, just discovering this fantastical like world that you see here in Riven. So, anyways, some kind of crazy alien. If you guys want to experience Riven, then this is probably the best way to do it. Playing the remake version. And yeah, it's an all-time great adventure game, I think. No, like Earth Animal. Okay, number 4 is Grim Fandango Remastered. So Grim Fandango originally came out in 1998. I think it was LucasArts' maybe last point-and-click adventure game that they released before they stopped making point-and-click adventures. This is considered a cult classic point-and-click adventure. So didn't get because it didn't sell very well when it came out, because I guess point-and-click adventures were getting out of fashion in the late 90s. But it is one of the best, I think. Again, just like other LucasArts games, like with Day of the Tentacle, It's got a lot of humor in it, doesn't take itself seriously, very, very campy, and fun to play. The remastered version also done by Double Fine Productions, who also did Day of the Tentacle remastered. So yeah, the master version came out in 2015, and I also played this a year ago. I guess I was doing a lot of point-and-click adventures a year ago. But yeah, just like Day of the Tentacle, same things I liked about Day of the Tentacle I liked for Grim Fandango. Only I feel like Grim Fandango might be a little bit, like, I have it higher in the list because to me it's a little bit more unique. Like, what other game do you play as a Grim Reaper, right? Like, this game has like more uniqueness to it, and the graphics are different. The Day of the Tentacles, of course, is more cartoonish. And Grim Fandango has more, you can see there's more computer-generated graphics here in this game. They use a lot of the Myst style graphics. So yeah, I put Grim Fandango a little bit higher than Day of the Tentacle, but they're both great games. That's why they're both on this list. Just like other LucasArts games. Fun to play, a lot of humor and camping. So number 3 is going to be Quest for Glory 4 Shadows of Darkness, originally released in 1994 for DOS, developed by Sierra. And I played this a year and a half ago. So yeah, Quest for Glory is it's similar yet different from King's Quest. It's more of an RPG series compared to King's Quest, but it's also a point-and-click adventure. So it's kind of a hybrid point-and-click adventure RPG series, which is why it qualifies for this list. And I actually prefer it. I prefer this game to the King's Quest games I played. I mean, Quest for Glory 4 to me is one of the most interesting Western RPGs. Like, the way it starts out, like, you start out in like the stomach of like a crazy like monster, basically. That's where you start out, and there's skeletons all around you. Like, it's such a creepy game. Like, in the vibe of it, it's so dark, and I love that. So
trying to fight. Oh shit.
Yeah, so it's definitely got RPG vibes. So, anyways, this counts as a point-and-click adventure and an RPG, so that's why I have it on this list. So it's got definitely the RPG style. I mean, Quest for Glory has its own type of RPG combat. Yeah, I think I prefer this game still to all the King's Quest games I've played. So that's why I had to put Quest for Glory 4 on this list. I like the dark, moody atmosphere. It's got a lot of Lovecraftian influence. So, for example, so basically the bulk of this game is still point and click, except for the fighting scenes is in, obviously some other elements is mostly some RPG. Oh man. See, there's some horror elements there. That tentacle monster thing is definitely Lovecraftian inspired. So yeah, I love the mood of this game. It's very dark, it's very creepy, and I love that about it. I mean, I also played Call of Cthulhu as well, the adventure games. I mean, they got this, I guess, another creepy vibe as well, but this game is the better game. It's just designed better. I mean, the Call of Cthulhu games are fine too. I played, but Quest for Glory 4 I think is the better. Oh my god, look at that. That thing just came off of the... It just came out the mantle and killed me. Like, yeah, I think this is probably the better design game. Anyways, yeah, that's my pick for number 3. Number 2 on my list is Space Quest V, Roger Wilco, The Next Mutation. This is my favorite game in the Space Quest series. It came out in 1993 for DOS, developed by Sierra. Played this a year and a half ago. So yeah, what I really like about this game, it's just like the other Space Quest games. I mean, it's got so much like humor and charm to it. I love that. Again, I love these campy sci-fi games, right? These campy sci-fi humorous point-and-click adventure games. I just love that. And Space Quest V is the best example of that, I think. And compared to the other Space Quest games, I think the Space Quest V probably has the most of this. I mean, all the Space Quest games have a lot of humor and stuff in it, but the writing in Space Quest V I think is one of the best. So yeah, personally my favorite of the series. So he plays Roger Wilco, this guy who is basically treated as a buffoon. And yeah, I mean, I just love the humor and the campiness. I mean, if you guys like the Last Starfighter, The Last Starfighter is... if you guys don't know, it's kind of like a cult classic 80s movie. Very, very campy. It's got coming of age in it. Yeah, Space Quest V is like the Last Starfighter. I mean, Space Quest is like the Last Starfighter, basically. It's got so much of these campy vibes. But yeah, for me, Space Quest V is probably the best out of the series. I love the writing in Space Quest V the most.
Okay, well, this is the only area I can really go.
Yeah. Definitely when I have time, I would like to play more of this game.
Actually go down here.
But yeah, there was a lot of games I've yet to play. But definitely from my impressions of it, Space Quest V is pretty much my favorite out of the series, and I like it better than any of the King's Quest series actually. I think this might be the highest out of the Sierra games as well. I think Sierra made a lot of great point-and-click adventures, but yeah, Space Quest V is one of their best, I think. So, yeah, that's number 2. Okay, guys, I lied about Space Quest V being the highest Sierra game on this list. The highest Sierra game on this list is the number 1 game, Leisure Suit Larry 6, Shape Up or Slip Out. So this was originally released in 1993 for DOS by Sierra. I played this a year and a half ago. And yeah, you guys might be surprised that my favorite point-and-click adventure game is Leisure Suit Larry 6. I mean, the Leisure Suit Larry games, the early games, that is, are all really nice. And the ones that have Al Lowe's involvement, I mean, the later Leisure Suit Larry games that came out in the 2000s sucked. But the 90s Leisure Suit Larry games are all really good. I personally like 6 and 7 the best, but I like 6 a little bit more than 7. I love the writing of this game, I love the comedy, the humor. Just basically everything I like about the LucasArts and Sierra games is the fact that these point-and-click adventure games are so campy, doesn't take itself seriously, have a lot of humor and writing in it. But Leisure Suit Larry 6 has some of the best writing, and the narrator is so funny. I mean, oh look, I just opened that door and the water came out and killed me. Next time try entering the swimming pool from upstairs. And the narrator like mocks you all the time. Like,
okay, well that wasn't a good idea. Well, why even have that?
Yeah, I love
why
that.
Have a door that opens
and then
to the swimming pool?
The Leisure Suit Larry, I think 7 actually might have the voice narrator, but yeah, I like 6 a bit better. Someday I will come back and I will finish this game, but I love Leisure Suit Larry 6. It's so campy, so funny, humorous, and it's got a lot of fun. I think these days people might be offended, right? Because it's got these kind of depictions of women in the game. But for me, I don't take this seriously or anything like that. It just oozes, that early 90s vibe, right? To me, it's like I play this game, I feel like I'm in the early 90s. Like it just oozes that early 90s vibe. And I mean, I played other games like Less Manly, I guess that does something similar. But Leisure Suit Larry 6, even compared to the other Leisure Suit Larry games, like I played a few of them, right? I played 4, 5. Played the first one, remastered version. I played the recent Leisure Suit Larry games, the White Dreams Try Twice or whatever. Yeah, I still prefer 6 the best. I think this is probably the best one. Yeah, see, actually it's got voice dialogue in this one too. So yeah, it's so funny how he gets rejected by all these girls, and some of the endings. I mean, look at this picture, right? He's got like mud covering her naked body, like he's making lewd jokes about it. Oh my god, this is such a classic. I don't think a game like this could be even made today, like. But it's just a fun game. Yeah, it's
okay.
Doesn't take itself seriously, very campy, lots of humor, and great writing in this game. I love it. So that's my number 1 game for point-and-click adventure. My favorite point-and-click adventure is Leisure Suit Larry 6. That's it, guys. Yeah, that I played. I mean, there's still a lot I haven't played, but out of the ones I played, I like this one the best. So guys, thanks for watching.